Welcome back to the studio. Today I want to explore a simple idea that often gets misunderstood in painting. Depth doesn't come from black. Depth comes from white. Yes, white. Not because it's bright, but because it controls value and space. And in this painting, I'll show you exactly how white creates space, contrast, and depth without using the black. If you're new here, I'm Fifi, an abstract painter. Here I share my painting process and the way I think it through color and layers. Before we begin, if you enjoy calm, thoughtful painting sessions like this one, consider subscribing to the channel. It really helps support the work I share here. I also want to say this clearly from the beginning. I do use black in my artwork. I love black, and it has a strong role in many of my paintings. But in this session, I'm intentionally setting the black aside to show you something important. You don't need black to create depth, contrast, or atmosphere. You can build all that by layering light, mid, and dark colors together from the very first layer. How? Let's get started. The first layer is not about details, it's about space. I started this painting by adding darker colors, but none of them are black. I'm using blue, brown, and muted greens. These colors already carry weight. Notice that white isn't something I'm saving for later. I'm adding it here at this stage, creating a space and atmosphere. What's important here is that the dark areas are placed next to light. That contrast, light against dark, is what creates depth, not the pigment itself. As texture begins to develop here, I'm not removing paint or scraping anything away. Everything you see is created by adding pigment on top of pigment. This is where things begin to feel more dimensional. Each new layer slightly shifts what's underneath, sometimes softening it, sometimes intensifying it. I continue adding pigment, always adding, I never remove. Here is an important moment in the process. I leave parts of the dark visible and layer lighter colors around them. That contrast is what creates depth. As I add lighter tones over darker ones and darker tones over lighter ones, the surface begins to build its own texture naturally. Nothing is erased and nothing is exposed by lifting. Instead, depth emerges because layers sit on top of each other, allowing earlier colors to influence the next layer. That interaction, light layered over dark, dark layered over light, is what creates movement, vibration, and complexity in the painting. This is how the surface gains rhythm. Dark areas ground the painting, light areas activate it. If you're finding value in this explanation, a quick like or share helps this video reach other artists who might need it too. White starts to play a more active role at this stage, not as a final highlight, but as a layer that interacts with other colors either beneath or around it. White continues to act as a mediator. It connects colors, softens transitions, and keeps the surface luminous. White here doesn't flatten the painting, it actually increases depth by pushing darker areas back. Nothing here is about finishing, it's about conversation between layers. Now you'll notice more greens, warmer yellows, and cooler blues interacting. Warm colors tend to come forward and cool colors tend to fall back. Even when values are similar, edges are soft and no black is used, the temperature shift alone creates spatial depth without black. As we know, depth is created by a relationship between value, saturation, edge softness, and temperature contrast. For example, a very light cool blue come forward more than warm brown. I'm letting dark areas breathe, allowing them to peek through, and stopping them from becoming one heavy block. This creates rhythm, variation, depth, and movement. Now I reintroduce darker tones, but this time they are more controlled. I'm placing dark areas where the painting needs grounding edges, transitions, and quiet anchors. Because white already exists underneath, these darks don't feel heavy or flat, they feel layered. And if you're finding value in this slow, step-by-step process, subscribing helps you catch future painting sessions like this one. This is one of my favorite moments. Removing the tip and seeing the white border instantly changes how the painting reads. The white frame resets the eye, clarifies contrast, and reveals whether the depth is working. Suddenly, the relationship between light and dark becomes obvious. This is where you really see that depth didn't come from black. It came from contrast, layering, and white. Now white returns more clearly, but again, it's not decorative white, it's structural. These lighter marks break dense areas, guide the eye, and create rhythm. White is doing the work black is often expected to do, defining forms, separating planes, and creating clarity. When you look at the finished piece, it may feel deep, complex, and dimensional, but that depth didn't come from black, and it didn't come from one dramatic moment. It came from light present from the beginning, dark introduced early without black, white layered repeatedly, not saved, mid-tones connecting everything. White wasn't an afterthought, it was the foundation. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. And if you'd love to own one of my paintings, the link to my website is in the description. See you in the next video and happy creating.